Raphael Cushnir is a leading voice in the field of personal development. An award-winning author and contributor to O, the Oprah magazine, his work has reached millions. Now, drawing on his own experience as an executive in Hollywood and Silicon Valley, he's created a set of talks, trainings, and consulting programs specifically for business. Whether your aim is stress reduction, team building, change management, or peak performance, recognizing and releasing resistance is the key. Raphael's simple, jargon-free techniques for doing so can revolutionize your approach and phenomenally boost your results.
Jim is the vice president of a big biotech firm. When I consulted with him last summer, he just had to lay off over 100 employees in his division. It practically destroyed him. He couldn't sleep at night. He was sick to his stomach. And on top of all that, he was furious that no other department had to take such a big hit. So one day he just lost it. Went right into his boss's office and let him have it. Instead of reacting harshly, though, his boss just listened, asked questions, created an environment in which Jim felt heard, valued, respected, and accepted. Jim was floored. He'd never had such a great manager before. So I took the opportunity to explain to him that the same qualities which make a great manager of people and projects, insight, patience, empathy, flexibility, were the same qualities that can be turned inward and used to resolve any type of stress or emotional challenge on the job. That's what we mean by inner management. It's a set of practical skills that anyone can learn. With practice, these skills can make the difference between burnout and peace of mind, between bitter conflicts and a thriving team, and most important, between sagging sales and a robust bottom line. So expansion is the state of being open and connected. First of all, to the flow of life experience as it moves through us. And then also, that allows us to be connected to everyone and everything that's around us. It's very important to know what expansion feels like, because in order to be fully present in any moment, we need to be in an expanded state. Now what I want you to do is I want you to think of someone or something that absolutely frustrates you to no end. And I mean it. I want you to pick the big one. Something that you've been working on for years perhaps. Maybe a stuckness in your career, or one relationship that just won't seem to heal, or a health concern. But pick something that just to think about causes frustration to immediately appear. And for this 1 minute of the exercise, I want you to invite that frustration to take you over. Let it move completely into your body as you focus on this topic. And then just as before, I want you to turn your attention to your body and notice what you feel. The core of my message is this. When we stay contracted past that first instinctive response, that's a choice that we make. It may be a reflexive or habitual or even unconscious choice, but it's still a choice. And the word we use to describe that choice is resistance. So resistance in this context means simply staying contracted past that first instinctive response. And when you think about it this way, it becomes clear that most of us are in some degree of resistance about something or other Pretty much all the time.
What do we do about, maybe we're in a horrible job situation, can't stand it. Now, what am I supposed to do about that? Just sit there and feel it?
Well, here's the most important thing to remember. If you're feeling something, you're already feeling it. You can't push it away. It's inside of your being. It's in your body, whether you want it to be there or not. If you try to push it away, it only grows in strength. If you open to it, you allow it to move through you, just like the weather. Because feelings, no matter how difficult, always move and shift and change. That's their nature, unless we resist. So if you're in a job that you hate, the first thing is to open up to how it really makes you feel. Allow yourself to feel the frustration, the disappointment, maybe even the shame. That brings you present. Once you're present, you have the opportunity then to tap into your greatest resources, your creativity, your problem solving, to try to figure out, can this job be changed into one that works for you, or do you need to move on? People often say, well, how long am I supposed to do it? I was working with a woman who's quitting smoking, and I said, what's happening right now? And she said, well, I'm sweating, and I'm feeling nauseous, and I have a headache. And I said, well, can you be with it? And she said, well, for how long? But there's only one true answer to that question: for just this moment.
Wow.
Because we never have to experience anything more than one moment at a time. It's only when we start projecting out into the future, it's going to last for a week or months or forever, that's when we leave the present and we get lost. Yeah. But only one moment at a time does anything exist, even the toughest stuff.
In a word, stress.
I'm tensing up. My lips are piercing.
Well, at bowling, everything is in turmoil, but one of the things...
Understanding and applying these simple principles of expansion, contraction, resistance, and presence can dramatically transform one's workplace experience, leading to great leaps in communication, creativity, and productivity. To demonstrate, here are some brief segments from one of Raphael's executive consulting sessions.
So you don't feel there's any particular way that you can win with this guy. If you yell back at him, he'll fire you.
Right, right. So this is actually really important what you're saying, because you know the logical approach doesn't work, and you know that escalation doesn't work. You can't fight fire with fire. So let's talk about a different approach. I want you to turn your attention to your body and notice exactly what you feel.
I feel, I guess, starting to get more calm and starting to get more organized around the emotions that I'm feeling.
We're all emotional beings, even in the most clinical or corporate environment. When we deny or resist that, that's when all the pain and suffering comes in. When we accept it, it's not that we become weepy at work or we become overly emotional or we all start getting touchy-feely and giving people big hugs. It's just that we realize that these emotional dimensions are actually not only beneath the surface, but they're running things. So step one is always get the emotional information yourself, and then step two is communicate it in a non-blaming way. We were trying to find the campsite, and there was a fork in the path. Eli thought the campsite for sure was to the right. I pretty much knew it was to the left. So he was, let's go this way, let's go this way. And it was really hard for him because I kind of grabbed him by the hand. I said, no, I think we need to go this way. So he agreed grudgingly to come along. And as we're walking down the path, he's saying to me, it's not this way. It's not this way. It's not this way. And he's getting more and more worked up. And then, lo and behold, we round the corner, and there's the campsite. And without missing a beat, Eli says, it is this way! And then starts running as fast as he can to get there. And as soon as that happened, I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to you all about this, because Eli created the best possible example. He had a belief. He stuck to it. And then the minute that some contrary information came into his field, without looking back, without feeling guilty about what he'd thought before, no trips whatsoever, he's on to a new belief. So analyzing, as it says up there, in this experience means instead of asking what is happening right now, I'm really asking why is it happening. And when I'm asking why is it happening, it's because I have a secret wish that if I could just figure it out, I could make it go away. So what do you do when you recognize that you're analyzing? Well, this whole process is about allowing and accepting. So I realize that I'm analyzing, and I say, what is happening right now? I'm analyzing. Can I be with it? Okay. That's what I was doing. So I accept that, and then I turn my attention back to my body, and I continue. And this is a person who, as I said, is successful, making lots of money, working with Fortune 100 companies, top of her game. And she came for a session because she said, I've lost it. I don't know what happened. I can't find my strength. I can't find my energy. It's like I've fallen into a pit, and this has never really happened to me before. So when we did our investigation, the main thing that I wanted to find out was what's causing her the most resistance? What's the biggest issue? And as we explored, we found out that over and over again, she was having resistant thoughts about how much she was disappointing people. And so I said, just imagine in this moment that you already are a disappointment. You've disappointed everyone. All the people who were counting on you. She stopped for a moment. She said, you know, it's kind of a relief. I mean, it's like there's nothing I can do about it. And that relief was the beginning of her moving through this huge resistant piece in her life.
Well, managing change, from my perspective, is really all about getting outside your comfort zone.
So recognizing and releasing resistance then is
That's huge. I mean, the other side of the coin is how do you diffuse the anger, and how do you diffuse, you know, conflict in yourself and within your teams. Where we're going with organizations, change is just imminent. I mean, it's a fact of our daily lives, and I think the more that we have the skill to be able to address these issues, that's what's going to make us competitive, and as organizations, that's what's going to make us win.
Let Raphael Cushnir help your organization not just meet its potential, but exceed it. His programs are flexible, scalable, and above all, effective. Find out more today